Hi, welcome to the summit. Dream big, creating a better life for yourself and the planet. I was going to say and others because I'm looking at you, and in my heart and mind, Dwabha, Deva, Dwabha, and now you're going by Pravati.
No, Dwabha.
Dwabha, just Dwabha. You are my Mother Teresa. I know you're going to say no, but that's really who you are in my mind. Dwabha runs the renowned Ramana's Garden Orphanage, and she's dedicated herself to get the children off the trash pile into a safe haven to get education with those which those children don't usually get. Now, you started out originally you went to Hollywood, surely left that behind. You had a little bit of a detour and then went to India, found Osho, started meditating, lived at the Ganges River eventually to gain enlightenment. You lived the proverbial life of a yogini without any possessions or very few, dedicated to finding your connection to God. And what you found was that service is your calling. And your story is being written up, and is what you're doing right now is writing up your amazing story and all the horrific stories of all the children that you are providing a haven to at Ramana's Garden in Rishikesh, northern India, where you have a vegetarian restaurant which is run with the children, where people come eat, and then from the proceeds you sort of kind of help pay the entire schooling, and having some of the children live there. Later on they go on to higher schooling, and one of your proteges just now signed up or became a pilot, or is in a program to become a pilot.
It's in training right now.
In training.
Practicing flying around in a jet.
So now, Dwabha, I would like to turn it over to you. You have amazing stories. Really, what I'd like to find out, of course, is just your journey from stardom to boredom to enlightenment and then to service, because we are here with that title. And let's start there.
Okay. Certainly not stardom. Let's go with attempted stardom. Growing up incredibly poor in the American Indian Reservation in southern Colorado, growing up in a reality where there was never enough. So the biggest program being given into my life, seeing it in all the indigenous people that my mom ran a trading post for, seeing it in farmers whose crops failed year after year. The message over and over is there's never enough, and there won't be enough. And this would have been the background for depression, failure, so many things. But instead, by the grace of the gods, it was an incentive to believe that that isn't right, and that it's up to me to have to change it, because I didn't see it being changed for anyone in the reality that surrounded me. At 17, yes, go ahead.
Correct. And if I may say, I got privy to the book you're writing. And today when I was walking, I talked to you in my head, and I heard one sentence that you emanate. And that seems to be, and I think I'm kind of right on there. You say, I am not afraid, because now you've been through the ringers when you were a child. You saw the darkest of the darkness and resolved to come out ahead. And maybe you can just give us a little bit of a hint. I know some of these stories are coming out in your book. I think that's going to turn into a Hollywood movie, of one of those true story movies, and make us cry. But maybe you can just summarize a little bit of how you survived the incredible hardship of your childhood.
Well, I mean, the poverty was already very heavy. And on top of that, I had an extremely psychopathic, a set, one after the other, of psychopathic, dysfunctional stepfathers. And the second one actually indulged in tremendous abuse and torture, physical torture. And the second one, I'm sorry, I correct that. First one, I was 5 and 6 during that period, and he was into really sadistic, psychopathic, physical torture. And the second one was so dysfunctionally damaged himself that it wasn't deliberate and malicious as it was in the first, I believe now. It was simply his wound was so deep that he couldn't help inflicting psychological abuse and damage on everyone who came into his circle. So why ever isn't the point. The damage was there, and the environment was extremely painful, alienating, and dysfunctional. But as I said before, the base of that tremendous pain and abuse pushed me that you have to get out of here because you're not finding a way to change it here. So you have to get out and you have to change this because this can't be right. So
True.
I left the house. And at 17, I ran away to Hollywood. With my limited understanding, the only people that I saw living their dreams and not suffering all the things that I saw around me on every side were the movie stars.
That's right.
They had, in my little 17-year-old mind, everything that would make all that was happening in my reality change. They had not only a house, a fabulous house, they had plenty to eat, they had cars, they had love, they had admiration, they had everything that in my little limited painful reality didn't exist. So looking out of that window of pain, I went to Hollywood, of course, at 17.
And mind you, you didn't like just dabble your feet in there. You got into some really meaningful hands. However the cards were in your life, you seem to have that luck. You land into the laps of rather renowned people.
Well, I did land, and I got help, and it looked like, hey, we are going to make this work. I had tremendous help, and I couldn't have taken a single step further without the, how would I put it, beneficence and kindness extended to me by Dustin Hoffman, extended to me by many others in the industry. But in what looked like, okay, now you're in the Screen Actors Guild, now you're getting work, now you're even getting extras in series, it's coming. I went to a very renowned psychic of that day. I waited months and saved and scraped to have enough. And she wanted an object in my hand, and I gave it to her. And she said, "Oh, my dear, you're completely in the wrong profession." No. Look again. It can't be true. She said, no. She said, you have to be a healer.
Oh.
No. I'm trying to be an actress. She said, oh, my dear, that will never happen. I was so upset. I had paid $200.
Oh, my God.
That was a lot. Okay, so I said, well, she doesn't know anything. Why is she so famous? And why did she help so many other people? And why is she telling me this? And it pushed me even harder. Now I have to prove that she's wrong. But as they say, destiny is written. And cannot push the river. I pushed. I knocked on every door. I went to every audition. I hung upside down from a hook in the ceiling to audition for a jungle part. I was supposed to hang in the jungle. It made me hang upside down from a hook in a penthouse in Beverly Hills. I mean, there wasn't a button I didn't push, but it wasn't in the cards. And slowly, I began to see that you are not happy. You are not fulfilled. You are not being nourished. In fact,
I was, yeah.
Being told day after day, turn around, no tits at all. How'd she get in here? Why do they let these dogs in?
Oh.
Okay, next.
No.
Whoa. You don't go home feeling good about you.
No.
And no matter what you do to build that up, if it's being torn down every time you put your foot out the door,
Mm-hmm.
this isn't working. So maybe it isn't here. I had a wonderful house. I had a sports car. I had a closet full of designer clothes.
Mm-hmm.
I had money. And I wasn't happy.
Right.
Not only was I not happy, I didn't wake up loving me.
Right. So let's fast forward, because I know the next portion of your life was rather challenging. I want to give something in the next 10 minutes to the listeners of this free portion of this segment, some insights. Now, you say you came from abuse. You went for the glitz. You found out that you weren't happy. And I'm sure some people, yeah, huh?
And being abused there.
And being abused there. Well, and then it got worse and worse and worse. You went to different scenarios. What turned your life around?
I was finally up for what should have been, would have been, could have been the biggest part in my life. Here you go. Here's a leading role. You have to roller skate to get it. I was hot on my rollerblades. I could outskate everybody in the audition. Plus, I was an actress and talented. It looked like it was in the bag.
Okay.
And in that final audition, I was asked to read something from a spiritual master.
Oh.
And as if there was an argument happening between some of the studio bosses in their own. They were arguing over who would be the most marketable guru in the world, right?
Yes.
Who to put their money on. So they were arguing, and the producer that would have made my destiny, and did indirectly, asked me to go in the room and bring out a book so that he could stand for the guru that he thought the money should go on. And he asked me to get up on a table, wearing my string bikini, we were at a pool, and open the book and read.
Oh.
And I did. And what I read was, everything in your life is a lie. You are selling your soul bit by bit. You are peddling your soul door to door. And it was, whoa. Wow. Somebody just opened it all up, looked at it, and said, you're a beggar. Yes. Never. How can you feel anything but a beggar standing in a string bikini on a table at a pool party in Palm Springs? Yes, you're begging.
Yeah.
You're begging for recognition. You're begging for a part. You're a beggar. And he said, you will remain a beggar until you find that which can never be given and never be taken. And I read that, and I said, I want this. I want that. And was in India 9 days later.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. So, were those famous words by Osho, by the way?
Yes.
So they gave that book, those words wound up in your hands. How often is it, I mean, that I'd still do that, I open a book, say, God, tell me a message, and it gives me the message that I need to know, opening that book to that page.
And I didn't even ask for it. In fact, I was really angry that I was the one being put up on this table to read this book. I said, And I looked at the cover and I said, what's an Indian doing in a fur hat? My God.
In a fur hat, yeah. And later on Rolls Royces.
And I read it and it went straight in. Yes, this being, whoever he is, has seen who I am.
Yeah.
Not only seen who I am, is telling me you don't have to be a beggar. Right. There's a way out. And it's not on this table in Palm Springs.
You
And
went to India 9 days later. You completely transformed your life. You learned things you never even dreamt possible. You started meditating. You did magical things. Eventually, you wound up living on the banks of the Ganges River, like the proverbial yogi. I know there are so many amazing things. I just wish I could get my hands on that book right now. I know you're still writing it. Yes, 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 you're writing it. I got privy to see some chapters. Yes. And the thing that I want to tell everybody is here, because Dwabha is actually running the orphanage now, and I want you to be able to find out about her life and get solace, because she has lived the life of extraordinary talent. She gives her life day and night. I've seen you in action. You are sitting in India at the Ramana's orphanage right now. Maybe you can give us a little overview what you do for the children, but can I ask you to give a gift, and maybe could it be like a PDF of your book when it's ready?
Sure. It would be a pleasure for me, for those who are interested after seeing this and really would be willing to read the book, because the whole point of this seminar is dream big. And that is what the book is. The book is a dream. The dream from being a tiny child, knowing that this isn't right. There is something wrong with this picture. We can change this. It doesn't have to be that way. It was a child's dream. It was a child's dream to come to Hollywood. But if I look now, what was the dream that brought me to Hollywood? It was having enough.
Yes.
And having enough I thought it meant a big car and but the dream to have enough has been fulfilled, even though I have no big car, no big bank balance, no mansion. I found the enough inside. And so the dream, to dare to dream big, is the book unfolding. So I don't have a gift beyond what I've been given to pass on to you. And what I've been given is the most valuable gift on earth. My dream is fulfilled. I wished to have enough. From my first possible wish, I can remember being little and getting my doll disappeared at Christmas and came back in new clothes. And I pretended that I didn't know it was the same doll, because I couldn't even have a new doll. I wanted a new frock. I wanted a new bicycle. I wanted enough.
Yeah.
The dream was to have enough. And the dream is fulfilled. I have more than enough. And the book is the sharing of that. It's not something that I did. It's not something that I can take any credit for. It's available to each and every one of us, if we dare to dream big, if we dare to keep dreaming. And the whole project is to teach these kids who have come from the worst, you name it, out of the garbage, out of child prostitution, out of literally being thrown in garbage bins, to take that and dare to keep dreaming, and take that as the base. Okay, this happened. Great, it made you stronger. It gave you a tool that you now can use, that magic tool, because you survived. You're not in the garbage. You're not in that brothel. You're not in a gunny bag in the back of a truck being smuggled across the border to be sold. You are in a position where you can dream and dare to dream and live those dreams. And finally, it's happening for enough kids. We have a pilot playing in his jet right now. We have a filmmaker probably making a film while we're making this one. We have doctors. We have biochemists. We have teachers who dared, when they came from the worst of the worst, something that we can't even speak on this about, who didn't give up, who trusted that they now have a magic tool. Strength. Whatever happens gives you, you're here. It means you're stronger than whatever that was. Whether it was abuse, child prostitution, child slavery, you're not there now. You survived. You're a winner.
Right.
And now you, because you're survived, because you have that super extraordinary strength, can dare to dream and can dare to make those dreams come true. And the small ones are looking up and seeing, hey, it works. And the villagers who didn't want me to let me educate girls, no. Girls can't go to school. They're seeing their daughters become doctors. They're seeing that it doesn't matter what the circumstances were. If the dream is big enough and the heart dares to follow, and it's a dream that serves, and this is why you'd say, well, you're not a famous actress. No, because that dream didn't serve. The dream has, I believe, I could be wrong.
No, I totally
agree.
agree.
I believe that when we dream in harmony with the universe, if our dreams are built of that which will benefit all, then we'll be given the guidance. Come on, who put that book in my hand in a string bikini?
Yeah.
Who put this and this and this and this? Who said you go live in a cave? Who said you do this? Who said you do that? All the pieces kept coming together because the dream was enough. But as I grew into the dream, I understood enough means enough for us all. We are not separate.
That's right.
I wanted enough as a child. I wanted a frock and a new doll. But as I grew into that dream, I understood the dream for enough had to mean enough for all. And the minute I could plug into that, it all just started coming. The pieces started coming. I didn't have to figure it out anymore. I didn't have to push doors, ring bells. I never had to beg again.
Yeah.
I was asking for enough for all. Use me as a tool to create enough for us all. And that means us all. That means every sentient being. Then we have to start looking. What is enough? Is it enough for the animals? Is it enough for the cows and chickens and lambs? Is it enough for the plants? Is it enough for Mother Earth? And the bigger that dream expands, the more possibilities are given to us to live it. It's a matter of asking. But as my experience, as long as that asking is only for our little enough,
right,
then we may or may not be given. I can't say. I wasn't. I'm so grateful I wasn't. I'm so grateful that my little limited dream didn't materialize, because I might not have discovered the treasure that comes when there is enough. When there's so much in our hearts that we don't decide to share any more than the rose opens in the morning and decides to share her fragrance. She's going to do that, whether there's anybody walking there or not, because there's not just enough, there's too much. And when that happens, exactly what he promised when I stood on that table, you will only stop being a beggar when you discover that which was never given, because it was always there and can never be taken. So it can't be a bank balance, and it can't be that mansion or that sports car or that starring role, because all those things could and may well be taken. There's something beyond it all.
Yes.
That cannot be taken. So, I'm not going to lie and say my life is a bed of roses. We've just been through in 1 week cancer, 2 earthquakes, a flash flood, and a severe cyber crop. One of my oldest, most wonderful, talented girls had her life savings taken away. And this can't, okay.
So now you go to, And now you become the spokespeople for the poor people who the police doesn't care about, who the police threatens to get out of the office. And you say, no, I'm not afraid. I stand up. That is phenomenal. And you know what? I listen to you. I'm in tears. I mean, I don't know if you can see it, but I was in tears. I had chills all over me. And it is so absolutely true. Dream big to create a better life for yourself and the planet. That means others, whoever the other is, because as we serve, as we create, as we give, as we want to make other people succeed, that makes us wings underneath of us, and we give wings to other people. And that's as it should be. I mean, that's where the endless, I mean, but I'm not saying that it has to be pompous for everybody. Maybe some people just have to say silent prayers, and that's their way of helping. Everybody has a way of giving. But this portion, now coming to an end of the free part of the talk, I'm so grateful that you're taking the time, because I just called you. We had a private conversation before, and I know all the appointments you have to take care of. So I will do my best. I want to, yeah, but I want to the next portion, because now we have a segment where people have decided they really want to study. They're getting a pass to listen to all the speakers and go into some techniques. So we're going to go and listen to you and your insight as to how you've helped women in particular, but men and women, go through pain, transform their traumas, and heal them, because you've worked on particular techniques that has helped kids and traumatized people across the planet, whether it was in Spain, whether it was in Turkey, whether it was in India. You have helped with specific steps. And so I'd like to get those specific steps. If you wouldn't mind giving us another 25 minutes or so, I'll take this to a close. We'll get everybody to click on that button. That means it will send an email to you. They sign up for your free PDF from your book, and you keep them until the book is done, right? And then you send it to them, right?
Absolutely. And I hope that book will be done soon. And
yes.
The book's title is, which is almost as good as Dream Big, If I Had a Dress of Red Feathers, I'd Fly.
If I had a dress of red feathers, I'd fly. Wow. You are a great storyteller, and what you share, I mean, I've seen you in action when people come to the orphanage, is to share the story of the children so people donate, because that's what the orphanage needs. The funds, the schooling, everything is funded through your efforts. You fund your dress, you feed all these kids. How many hundreds? Some
100. Over 200 every day, sure.
And you create the funds for them all to be fed, to be housed, to be dressed, and they live in their worlds, and or you provide some housing. So whoever is willing to find out more about you, how can they find out more about you? We'll be sure to give the website here as well underneath.
Yeah. 2 websites, contact me. I mean,
the website is called Say Yes Now.
Say Yes Now. Which
Say
is
Yes Now.
To live your dream big.
Yeah. SayYesNow.org, correct?
Yes, exactly.
Yes, it's the ORG. It's an organization. SayYesNow.org. Find out about Dwabha. Find out about Ramana's garden. Visit her in Rishikesh. Get inspired. Help the world. Do whatever you can to live your mission in life and to dream big so that the universe can utilize you as a channel here on Earth. Thank you for listening so much. And I'm super excited to get your techniques as to how you've lifted these children out of the trauma. See you in the next segment. Thank you so much. Namaste.